Welcome to the Waffle Podcast with me, Carlo, and the boy, the man, the myth, Mitesh
Mitesh.
Mystery.
Yo, guys.
Hey,
You alright, bro? How are you?
been too long, been too long. How
I
you
know,
been?
man. I've not been great. That's why it's been like too long.
Uh,
Got COVID. Surprise, surprise.
oh, geez, yeah.
So that was a mad experience.
So,
So yeah, just been recovering from that really.
so what's life after having COVID?
Bro, you know the thing is, it's like the symptoms. Like I had a high temperature, right? That was my main symptom. But so I'm fully better now. But I don't know what it is, but I love to sleep now. Like when it hits 8 o'clock, I'm like, bro, can I go to bed? And then I wake up at 9 o'clock for work, and then I'm like, nah, bro, I still want to sleep. Like I just love sleeping, and I don't know if that's a COVID thing or because I was in bed because of COVID. I've just liked. I just want to be in bed now. I don't know. It's weird.
The big question, obviously, is can you taste? I
Yeah, bro.
mean, hearing people losing their taste.
I was fine on that front. I was tasting like all the pasta I was
That's
making, all
it.
the food
That's
that
it.
people were sending. I
Yeah.
was like,
Eating mom's food and all that. Like,
well, I mean, my mom had COVID, so she was
oh,
eating my food really. Then we were
geez, off.
eating other people's food because they were dropping it off. But yeah, it was a honestly, man, it was it when you got COVID, you know it because it hits you so hard. Like I had a temperature for about 5 days,
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah.
and then it started getting a bit better.
Hmm.
And obviously I was off work, and it was just hit me like a fucking brick wall. And yeah, I'm glad it's over now because I don't want to be in that state, especially like during Christmas and stuff as well.
Yeah. But I mean, vaccines are going out, so that's
Yeah,
sounding
man.
good.
Oh, hey, Rupert Murdoch got vaccinated today, apparently.
Oh, is it? You
Yeah,
know,
Ian Mc.
my grandma got vaccinated.
Seriously, that's
Yeah.
so good, man.
Yeah, she got
That's
tricked into doing
amazing.
it, but she got vaccinated.
Oh
So,
shit.
yeah.
That's great. How did she get on the list, or?
So basically, because of she's elderly, so she's
Yeah,
like over 80 years of age, and because
yeah.
she lives by herself. I mean, she lives with me, but because it's just us two, my uncle drove her to the surgery because they said that she is in need of it. But then it's
Okay,
like my granddad, they said they won't be able to give it to him
right.
because he's not over 90 years of age now, and he says he's too high risk now to get
Oh,
the vaccine.
okay. I didn't
So
know that
I
was a
think
thing
I
as
think
well.
there's like a borderline, like because like he could have such an adverse reaction that could affect him badly. But my
Yeah,
grandma's still young enough, and
yeah,
I mean young enough
yeah,
to
yeah. But
still get the
relatively, yeah.
vaccine, which is
That's
good
good.
news because I was really happy to hear
I
that
mean, the
because
main thing is that she's safe now, which is
oh
good.
yeah, I mean they're
Um,
saying it can only last 6 months. Some of the
really.
vaccines, yeah,
Mm.
it's
But they
crazy.
need like another injection or something, right?
Yeah, they need to make sure if it doesn't mutate or anything and carry on.
Yeah. But I
So
mean, like this COVID stuff, man, with Christmas and allowing the 5 sort of days and this tier system is just like, I want to do stuff, but like, I don't know what I'm allowed to do. And I
I
feel like
mean,
it's nothing. That's why I don't know.
so does a lot of people. I heard in Ireland, the minute it turns the 28th of December after Christmas, 6 weeks lockdown.
Bro.
Yeah, and in Sri Lanka, 22nd. There is no Christmas.
Oh
Like
shit, man. That's
everyone.
I mean, I guess fair play, man. They got to do what they got to do, but it's a bit annoying. Now, I saw this great analogy on Twitter
Yeah.
where someone said COVID in the UK is like when you're in an exam and you hear everyone flick to the next page of the exam and you're still stuck on the first question. That's
Oh,
what it
gee.
feels like because everyone's sort of like, especially in certain countries, they're sort of getting back to a
Yeah.
lot more level of normality, whereas the UK is on this fucking yo-yo thing where it's like lockdown, no lockdown, tears, no tears, and it's just like, bro,
But,
come on.
but I'm hearing a lot of countries are going through tough times as well. Spain, Germany, they're all
Yeah,
rising. I mean, everyone seems to be flying to bloody Dubai. Like,
bro, Dubai is like it's like EasyJet just started a new route
I've
there, man.
seen literally everyone, every celebrity, every influencer, whatever they call themselves, all flying to Dubai and partying there and coming back because there's
Fair
no
absolutely.
quarantine.
I wonder what Dubai's like, man.
Huh?
They must be like a fest for COVID.
I mean, no, but the Sheikh, I've been told the Sheikh has had the vaccine
You've been
already.
personally told that by the Sheikh.
I've been told by some people,
Yeah, yeah.
that he's had the vaccine from China.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
That's
Chinese
an
vaccine,
interesting one.
and he's still alive.
There's a Chinese vaccine that exists. I did not know that.
Yeah, they've been giving it to their army. Do you know? They tested it out on their
Oh
army.
shit! Oh no, I had no idea.
Yeah, bro.
They don't want to buy a Pfizer, yeah.
No, no. See, everyone else is making the vaccines and then just trying to get the money out of it, isn't it? That's how
Yeah,
they work.
some money's game, man.
But okay, during your COVID time, then how you been trying to kill the time?
Um, well, by sleeping, lying in
Uh-huh.
bed. I didn't actually do much at all because I
It,
just
it,
had no
it's it's
energy.
it's meant to be a segue to any shows you've been watching, anything coming up, any
Oh, okay, okay.
streams? No,
Oh, obviously you're gonna edit that bit out, yeah.
no.
Oh shit. Okay. So basically, one thing that whilst I was recovering from COVID,
Yeah.
Disney, being the mammoth they are, did a
Mhm.
massive investors call, and they announced a whole new bunch of content coming to cinemas as well as their streaming service Disney Plus. Now, I just want to take this time to sort of say Disney Plus launched pretty much a year ago or just over a year ago in the US, and then
Mhm.
obviously it rolled out in the UK this year. They have over 80 million subscribers to their service right now. Like,
80 million.
fathom that in just a year. Netflix have just over 200 million, and they've been going for about, I don't know, 10 years, maybe just under or just over.
Yeah, but
So
Disney's
the
had a
map.
cult following though for years.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
think Disney definitely has the advantage of their brand name and the high quality IP they have in like the Pixar, the Star Wars, the
Yeah.
Marvel, and it's just Disney, so everyone knows what they're getting.
Yeah.
But the fact that they have amassed that many subscribers in just a year is just fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But so yeah, so they did an investors call where they announced a lot of content from all their different sort of studio. So one of the things that they talked about was have it launching Star as a streaming service or an add-on to Disney Plus internationally, and that's going to have like a lot of mature content, so not family friendly. So a lot of the films that they acquired from Fox, a lot of the TV shows from Fox and FX,
Mhm.
hopefully come in there. So that's going to be a way to sort of integrate that service into Disney Plus. But the big announcements that I want to talk about. So first of all, let's start with Pixar. So they announced a few shorts, a few series coming to Disney Plus, a couple of films as well. And the
Mhm.
main film that they announced was Lightyear. I don't know. Have you heard of that, Carlo?
No, what's Lightyear about?
So Lightyear and it's based on the Buzz Lightyear character in Toy Story, but
Okay.
it's not a Buzz Lightyear film. It's a film about the person that Buzz Lightyear is based on in the Toy Story universe. So it's like a
Okay.
real Buzz Lightyear, and Chris Evans is going to be voicing him, the character of Lightyear or
Wait, so
whatever the
is
character
it's
will
gonna
be.
be animated then?
Yeah, so it's an animated, it's Pixar doing it. It's going to be come out in cinemas. But I just thought that was a really weird thing. Like, it's not a Buzz Lightyear film.
Hmm.
It's a film about the who Buzz Lightyear is based off in that universe, and it's an interesting thing. But I don't get why they keep on going back to Toy Story.
I think it is interesting. I mean, Toy Story is one of the biggest cash cows. Like everyone's had Toy
No, but
Story when they were
no
child,
one
right?
wanted Toy Story 4, and I mean, it was a good film, but was
But
it
it did
really
break
needed?
records. It brought
Yes,
people to
yes.
tears. Like, but but we're coming back to Buzz Lightyear. I mean, it does make sense why they're doing something like this because back in the day they did have a Buzz Lightyear TV show. I don't know if you remember. It's like not
Really?
based
I
on
did
the
not know
toy,
that.
but based on the person in the squad. Like think of it like Green
Oh,
Lanterns, but
okay.
the light years type of
Crazy.
thing. Yeah, it's like that, and I'm surprised that they're bringing this actually again. And I don't know if it's going to be the same way or the same thing. But yeah, back in the days, I used to watch Buzz Lightyear all the time. He was like
Oh,
one of my
damn.
favorite characters. But this is actually interesting. So when are they planning on dropping this or
I
something?
think it's 2022.
Okay, so that's another
I
year or so.
think so. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting, and again, it's just it's like it's based on Toy Story, but it's not exactly part of Toy Story, so it's
Hmm.
different. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. I wasn't, like I said, I'm not that excited for it, but
Hmm.
obviously when it comes out, it's Pixar. I'm gonna watch it
Yeah.
because they're brilliant at everything they do. But moving on from Pixar animation, let's talk about Disney. Now,
Okay.
Disney, as you've probably seen, for the past decade, their animation studio has put out a whole range of like top quality films: Frozen, Big Hero 6,
Hmm.
Princess and the Frog, Moana, and there's been a lot of talk in recent years, like how they're going to follow up on this IP because they have all those films are very well received. They have a good like following uh, um, on streaming and also just generally.
Yeah.
And I thought they were going to go the sequel route where they were going to um, do a lot of sequels for those films, but because they're trying to push Disney Plus, they've done something really interesting. So the first time ever, Disney are going to produce an animated series based on a couple of those films. So let me talk you through it. There's four of them. So there's a Moana series,
Oh, okay.
there's a Zootopia Plus series,
Oh,
there's Tiana, which is apparent, I think, based on the Princess and the Frog Princess.
okay.
I'm not watched that film personally, so I'm not quite invested in that. And probably the best of all, a Baymax series
What's Baymax?
from Big Hero 6.
Oh, the big marshmallow looking thing.
I like warm hugs.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He was sick.
Yeah,
That was sick.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
just think that's such a great route to take because they obviously want to like push as many people onto Disney Plus as possible.
yeah.
But it's a great way to sort of continue their story. But I just don't know how they're gonna do it in terms of a series format. Like, there's gonna need to be an actual story
I mean, with
there.
Zootopia, it kind of makes sense because you could make it into like a crime drama, not drama, but like a crime show type of
Yeah,
thing where each episode's a different case and stuff. The
yeah.
Tina one's kind of, I'm not really sure how they will go about it. Maybe to do
Same.
with spirits and everything because it's like there was a whole little, how can you say, is it a gypsy guy, someone like who's into voodoo or into like that sort of magic and stuff and then
Yeah.
changes people. That maybe they'll go down that route. Um, but I'm not sure. Moana, I'm not. How can they go further with Moana? I
That's what
don't.
I'm saying. It's like, bro, I love the film. You know that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think, was it the first time you watched it
I mean, it's the
when we were
first
at
movie we
uni?
both saw together with our
Yeah,
friends.
exactly.
Yeah,
And you fell
I,
asleep, obviously,
yeah. I
naturally.
passed. I mean,
But I
I've
like
seen the film, but
the songs from there are banging. Like the characters are just great, and it's such a fun story. But it's like now they're gonna take that forward, but in a series. And the thing is, it's just because it's a series, like it's gonna need a lengthy sort of story, and it's such a move away from feature length films where it's
mhm.
just one story within an hour and a half ish, um, going to a series over probably quite a few episodes. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but it's gonna be really interesting. Like the sort of how they're gonna incorporate the songs as well. Is it gonna be like an anthology series where each episode is different? I don't know, but I just thought that was a really interesting move
Yeah. I
from
think
them.
like these are great because like I've always like wondered like after the movie how do they go on from here, like how is it
Yeah,
all going, like they did something similar with Lion King but it's just like it's just interesting because like it's the one big movie thing and now you
yeah.
want to see okay how did they expand from here, how did like Simba go on to like do all the prior, how did like everyone else, and it's just kind of cool like
Yeah, I
you know
think the Baymax series is the one
yeah
probably I'm looking most forward to because that was Big Hero 6 was one of those films where you could definitely see a sequel because it was a superhero team and
yeah
everyone loves Baymax. So I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but there's more Baymax. I need more Baymax
I
in my
mean, with
life.
Moana, is the original voice like with all these films? Are they going to
Yeah,
have the original voice actors?
I
So,
I'm not sure whether I can't remember whether it was confirmed or not, but I assume they would.
so we're
Otherwise, they wouldn't
expecting The
do.
Rock to come back as Maui, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay, that will be
I'm
very
hoping that
interesting.
so
Yeah, that's
because what's the point then, right?
yeah. I mean, okay, that sounds very interesting. It could be another Lilo and Stitch route, you know. Like they go
Yeah,
looking for
Lilo and
islands, doing
Stitch,
things.
man.
Like Lilo and Stitch started off as a movie, which was turned into.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, it's the
that was a
biggest.
banging series on
Yeah,
Disney
like
Channel.
come on, 625 experiments, and they have to go find it. Oh my god,
Yes, man. Oh my God, I love
that's
Lilo
just
and
written
Stitch, man.
itself. It's like,
So anyway, okay, so we've done Pixar and Disney.
mhm,
The next thing they talked about was Marvel.
mhm,
Now, obviously, Marvel have a lot of Disney Plus shows coming out, and they released new trailers for WandaVision, for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Loki.
mhm.
Did you get a chance to watch any of them, or?
No, I didn't get a chance. No, no, no. I am looking
But
forward to them though. I heard
yeah,
Loki's about the one that disappeared in the last film. The
yeah.
one
So in
that
Avengers Endgame, Loki disappears with the Space Stone.
Tesseract. Yeah,
Yeah, the Tesseract,
yeah.
and the trailer is just really weird how they did it. So it's like, is Loki going to be a good guy in this? I'm assuming he kind of will be because if he's the main character.
Yeah.
But then we also got there was one shot and there was a glimpse, and people are suggesting that that's Black Widow, although she's dead. So
Oh,
that's going to be interesting on how it plays out. And I think the best thing about these Disney Plus shows, they're really going to be integrated into the wider MCU.
but could it be a different Black Widow? Because obviously he does have the Tesseract, and he's from a different time, and I think they were
Yeah,
gonna go through.
yeah. So I don't know how the Soul Stone works, man. Like apparently you can bring back Gamora, but you can't bring back Black Widow because she
No,
dies from
but
the
it
Soul
was a
Stone.
Gamora from a different timeline.
Exactly, but then they said at Endgame, oh, you can't bring back Black Widow. But I mean, if Gamora was back from a different timeline, surely you could do the same for Black Widow, right?
Yeah, but with Black Widow, if you took her from the timeline, surely then she wouldn't go die to get the Soul Stone again when they needed
Yeah,
it.
but then wouldn't that be the same for Gamora then as well?
I mean, are you
Because she
really
was in
debating
Endgame.
about giving the Soul Stone to Thanos?
No, bro, this time thing is getting a bit too much, man.
Yeah,
Might
yeah, I
need to go
know.
sleep again, don't
Yeah,
I?
bro, it's too late for this, man. Like,
I know I'd had you on, so don't push it. But yeah, so they obviously announced that, and I don't know if you've heard about all the rumors about the Spider-Man film, about the different
they're
Tobey
gonna have
Maguire,
Doctor
Andrew Garfield.
Strange.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what they officially confirmed was that WandaVision,
Hmm.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and the next Spider-Man film, they're going to
Yeah.
be a sort of joint arc between all
Okay.
the between the series and the films. So WandaVision leads into Doctor Strange, which then I'm assuming would lead into the Spider-Man film.
Hmm.
And there's going to be some crazy things going on because the Spider-Man casting, apparently, so J. Jonah Jameson is back. Obviously, we knew
Yeah.
that. But there's going to be a lot of interesting ways of how they're going to incorporate Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, um, Kirsten Dunst as MJ.
So is it confirmed that they are returning,
I
or
think it's heavily rumored, but because of what we know so far, I'm assuming it's going to happen.
okay, that would be kind of cool seeing Tobey Maguire back in the spandex,
Yeah.
back in the tights.
Who's your favorite Spider-Man? Do you have
See,
one or?
now see, it's hard, right? Because like I grew up with watching Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man 3 was a massive letdown,
yeah.
and
But Spider-Man
Andrew
2, man, like what?
Spider-Man 2 with Octopus. Oh
Wait,
my
Doc
god.
Ock is coming back as well, or rumored to come back as.
Nah, Doc Ock
Yeah,
was amazing,
he
man.
is rumored to come back in this Spider-Man film
See,
as
that would
well.
be sick.
So it's all the multiverses like colliding.
See,
It's crazy.
with Garfield, I didn't have a problem. It's
Mhm.
just I don't know, it just didn't feel like it was for me. It just felt like it was another repeat of the whole Tobey Maguire
Yeah,
thing, and it's just
I
like,
get you.
is it needed? I did like the characters. Like I love Jamie Foxx, who played was it Electro or someone?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently he's coming back as well for
like
this film.
I did like it. It's just I don't know, man. It just wasn't for me. And then
I think Andrew Garfield was a good Spider-Man, but those films just did not work for me.
yeah, I mean it did. I mean kept everyone on toes when who was his love interest? I forgot the girl, the blonde one.
Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, Gwen. When didn't her back break and she died?
Yeah. Spoilers
Yeah.
alert, so guys.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. If you haven't seen the
Apparently,
film,
it's not a good film, so don't bother
yeah,
watching
it's
it.
He tries to save her. Then he gets the spider web, but then her back breaks. And that
Yeah,
does make more sense. Like, come on, Superman catching people out thinner, like catching people in the air, and they're not cutting into
which
pieces.
was relatively. They should just like literally slice through
Yeah,
his arms,
if
sort of thing.
physics actually worked, it would have been like a totally different stories. But but then also with who was the recent guy, the one on Avengers?
Tom Holland.
Yes, Tom Holland. Tom Holland, I like him because he seems a bit quirky. He seems like that New York guy. Like,
Yeah,
you get me. But but he's not my Spider. Just because obviously it's not who I grew up with.
yeah.
That is probably my only thing. Other than that, he is amazing. He's perfect. Whatever it is, the stories are all mingling together and all this. But yeah, it's just not me fully.
No.
But I do hope this all the best though. I do hope it does come in. Now, is there any word of Miles Morales? Maybe.
What I mean, no, so far, and I guess it makes sense because that was like the Spider-Verse stuff was animated.
I mean, does he belong to Sony still, or what's going on? Has the contract been extended? Because I thought Spider-Man was owned by Sony, right?
Yeah, so I mean, it still is. I'm not sure. Disney and Sony still have that sort of deal where he can be in the MCU.
Hmm.
But again, I'm not sure how long that deal is for and whether they want to extend it or not.
Hmm.
I guess it makes sense to extend it because they're both doing so well from it. But who knows? I guess people get greedy and they might think, "Oh, we can just do it ourselves then."
Mm. Okay, okay. Anything else coming through?
So, and then another thing from Marvel, we got announcements for Fantastic Four.
Oh,
Um,
Fantastic Four. Wait, is that a
and
new one?
Yeah, and it's going to be directed by the same guy who directed the Spider-Man films. So,
Oh
Homecoming
wow.
and Far From Home.
Oh wow.
And when
Wait,
you think
so
about it, I think that's a good fit, right? Because
it is, but wait, is Fantastic Four, is it gonna be a totally brand new one, or is it a continuation, or is it
it will be a brand new one,
oh
right?
brand new one? So
Because
they're
it's
gonna
under
restart
their
this.
Marvel banner, and I just hope they do it an actual good film
Because
for once.
didn't wasn't I swear Michael B. Jordan and all these other people were in the film, like the
Yeah,
last
that,
one,
that that was the most recent one that Fox did,
and then they just gave
which
up.
did shit. And it started well and the characters seemed good, and then they just ruined it with sort of that last 45 minutes. It was just terrible, and the cringe moment when they said, "What should we call ourselves?" It's like fantastic, and then what'd you say? And then I was like, "Fuck, man! Like you couldn't have just done this a little bit more naturally and be like, Fantastic Four. That's a great idea." Yeah.
I mean, I never see Fantastic Four films never really hit with me. I only kind
No.
of like the Silver Surfer one, but they don't really stick in my mind. They're not like all the other films, which are just
Yeah, I get what you
all
mean. They're just meh.
yeah, they're kind of like the like I know they're a major part of the Marvel universe, but for me, they're just like their stories like okay, like, they're still not going to connect you to anyone else, but okay, like we're just
So what
um,
also got announced as well as that, obviously loads of things that I'm missing off, but Ant-Man 3 as well. So Ant-Man and the
oh
Wasp, and it's I can't remember the title, the sort of subtitle for it, but there's going to be another Ant-Man film, which
okay
I'm kind of surprised about considering it's one of those lower grossing films
films.
in terms of the finances, financially. So I was surprised. I thought they would have just put it on Disney Plus, but I'm actually glad they're doing it because I like the Ant-Man films.
But would there be a chance? Okay, this might be a reach. Okay, after Endgame and all this, obviously they have this thing of they release movies for each character and then maybe another Avengers film.
Yeah.
Do you think there would be another Avengers film in a couple years' time after all these films are
I
out?
I think they will, but I
Mhm.
think they'll definitely take their time. So
Okay.
from the rumors that I've that has been going around on the internet, Thor: Love and Thunder. Apparently,
Hmm.
that's going to be maybe a big event film in the sense that there'll be a lot of characters.
Hmm.
And we know that from One Division and Doctor Strange, Spider Man, that they're going to be sort of intertwined. So I think you're going to see a lot more of those in the solo film crossovers with the different heroes. So there's sort of less of a need for an Avengers film.
Hmm.
But that's just sort of my personal take on it. And I'm kind of, although I like the solo films because of the way the universe is set up now, there's no logical reason why this superhero shouldn't be in this film. Like, what are they doing that's so important
Yeah,
that they can't help out the other superhero, right? It's got to that
yeah.
point now. So, I don't know. What do you think? Like, do you think they'll do another
I
Avengers
don't
film?
know. I would love to see another Avengers film.
Yeah,
Obviously, they need to make it bigger and better. Like, how can you go from Endgame, like Thanos coming from snapping his fingers to beheading him and disappearing and all this to a normal local villain? Like that, then that'll just be a normal film, like for an
yeah.
individual.
But do you think that that's what the MCU needs right now? Because we've been on such a massive high with Endgame and Thanos that maybe just a smaller story will be okay for this first outing.
But then I mean, like, then they're gonna have to bring new characters in for the Avengers because
Yeah,
obviously they need to replace Iron Man and all this. So
yeah,
then I'm expecting that if the Avengers does happen, they're gonna bring in new people, such as say instead of obviously because Captain America, everyone's gone. Maybe bring in Marvel, bring in Wasp or Ant Man, bring
yeah,
in who else? Spider Man, and be like, okay, go off and save the world or something. That's different because we haven't seen that team work together and
yeah.
come together as a team. So that would be very interesting. But yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say what would be good or what's good because like obviously we had time, we had space, we had massive tyrant Thanos coming
Yeah,
in like dominating worlds and like half the universe died like
yeah,
and came back.
literally.
Like how could we
And
get
now it's
any
just
bigger?
go to like a little film where they are shit. There's like a drug lord running New York. What are we gonna do about him, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like the kingpin or someone won't be enough. Like we gotta see
Like,
someone
bro,
else.
just bring Daredevil back. It's fine, isn't it? We don't
Oh,
need we don't need anyone
Daredevil.
else. Yeah,
But
he's
yeah.
sick, man. But yeah. So like Marvel announced a lot of things. Those are sort of my highlights from the announcement.
Wait.
And
Before anything, since we're still on Marvel, just before we jump on,
yeah,
you heard about what they said about Black Panther? Black Panther 2.
yes, they're not gonna recast T'Challa, are they?
No, I love
Okay, so
that.
what do you think of that?
So I love the fact that they want to respect him because
Okay,
Chadwick Boseman played it fantastically. Come on,
yeah,
we saw the Wakanda sign
yeah.
everywhere, every
Wakanda
sports
forever,
field,
man.
every person, every kid. He
Yeah,
was so strong because the fact he was still going through this,
yeah,
it just no one could do it right. You get me?
yeah.
Like no one could touch that many people, and I don't know. It seems
It was a very
harsh.
powerful portrayal from him.
Yeah, and so I do get it why they're not doing it, and but then I also do like the idea that they want to expand on other big characters that are in the Wakanda or Marvel universe in
Yeah.
Wakanda. So I'm guessing his who was his right hand man? Oh, his right hand woman actually. Uh,
Um, Nakia
I think so. Yeah. The
was the sort of like the girlfriend sort of thing.
No, you know the one who he picked up. He grabbed her hand and then he disappears, and she's like, "My king, my king."
Oh, Okoye.
Yeah, I think so.
But she's like the head god, so I don't think
Yeah,
she would ever go for
no, but
the
I think
Black Panther title.
no, but no, not the title. I think she'll just be more in
Prominent.
more prominent in the films because right now she did get that whole little scene as well um in not Endgame. What was the other film before that?
Um, Infinity War.
Yeah, in Infinity War, she did have a little scene obviously when she was there.
Yeah.
But then who I do think if they're going with the comics, it's gonna be T'Challa's sister. It's gonna be because not that she'll get the mantle or do anything straight away, but be the
Yeah.
fact that she'll start off using technology. She'll be like the new Tony Stark type of thing. She'll start using technology
Yeah.
to do what the Panther could do.
Yeah.
And then it'll come down to a point when they'll be like, take the trial and become the new Panther. That's what I'm
See,
kind of hoping for.
that don't work because in the universe that they've set up in this, how the fuck is Shuri gonna beat M'Baku in a fight? Because they don't have any powers in that fight. It's just a straight combat.
Yeah.
How is that going to happen? And I don't get it. Second of all, I don't like the fact that I get what the comics say, but this isn't comics. This is the films. And Shuri is a great supporting character for what she is. Like she's
Yeah.
a great comedic sort of presence. She's great with the tech, and she's the new Tony Stark, or because she's even cleverer than him apparently. She's the most smartest person in the Marvel universe. So I think it's good to just let her do her thing. And personally, like you said, I get the decision to respecting Chadwick Boseman's legacy and not recasting the T'Challa. But I personally would have recast him because there's this thing where people say, to respect his legacy, we don't want anyone else to play him. Surely, if the legacy meant that much and what T'Challa and Black Panther meant that much to audiences, surely the most appropriate thing to do would be to carry the legacy on and recast so the story is not affected. And people, I know there's a selfish thing where you say, "Oh, you don't want the story to change," and you're right. I don't want the story to change, but at the same time, what Chadwick Boseman did with that character was so influential. Why would you just now end it? Like it doesn't need to end with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like what he represented with Black Panther was bigger than him. Another actor could do a great job in just carrying on that legacy and what it means for like black film fans essentially. And that's what I think. They should recast him. The fact that they've chosen not to, obviously for me is a bit disappointed, but at the same time, you got to respect the decision because it's a hard one for Marvel to make, and they know what they're doing, I guess. So there's only so much you can really complain.
I mean, it is a power play as well in the sense that they know a lot of people respected Boseman, and a lot of people would probably prefer not having someone else come in and play. And in the people's eyes, they will seem like they really care. Obviously, they are a big organization, so we don't really know if they care or not, or if it's just publicity or whatever it is.
I'm sure they do, but I get they need to do the PR spin on it as well.
The PR stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's a smart move what they do. In my opinion, it's a smart move. Yours is obviously we differ, but they're playing to the people's hearts, and that's what I think a lot of people right now will be very sentimental and appreciate it.
Yeah, he just gave us a great first film, and I hope whatever Ryan Coogler does with the second one, I'm sure he'll smash it out of the park, whatever the story is and stuff. So he's played it fantastically, and I think that whatever Disney have chosen is going to be for the best, right?
Yeah.
So Marvel had a lot of massive announcements, but lastly, it's Star Wars that also announced a lot of things. Essentially, they announced about 10 new Disney Plus series, which is massive because Star Wars is one of those things for me where it's like the less you get, the better it is because it's Star Wars. Like it's the episodic thing of you get the episodes 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. And it's interesting that they're going to do such a heavy push with Star Wars. Not really surprising because I mean they want to make money from if they own Star Wars, you got to make money from it.
Yeah.
But they announced a lot of shows and a few movies as well. So one of the first in terms of films, they announced 2. One that Taika Waititi is directing, who directed Thor Ragnarok, which was bloody brilliant. And
it's one of the best films they had in the Marvel universe.
Exactly, it was one of my favorite. As soon as it's so funny, man. But we don't know much about the film, but it's just that he's directing one, and I think it's going to come out in quite a few years' time. Probably once he's done with directing Thor: Love and Thunder. And the next film they announced was one called Rogue Squadron, and that's about the sort of X-wing or fighter pilots in the Star Wars universe. And Patty Jenkins, the director of Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984, is going to direct that. And she's a fantastic director. I'm just really excited that it's a different sort of Star Wars film that we're getting.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to it. So those were the sort of films that were announced. The main series that were announced, they announced an Ahsoka series. They confirmed the Obi-Wan series. With the Obi-Wan series, I don't know if you heard this, Carlo,
Mm.
but Hayden Christensen is going to come back to play Darth Vader in the
Okay.
Obi-Wan series, which
Damn. But where's it
I
taking
think is
place though?
mad.
What?
So,
What?
so apparently, it takes place 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith.
Okay. Okay.
So it's interesting that they've gone for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that Obi-Wan and Darth Vader will meet and have a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether that breaks like the sort of Star Wars canon where it's like in A New Hope they said they hadn't met in so many years, was this the point? Because I think everyone just assumed it was their last fight would have been in Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he's coming back, I think fans have been wanting it for quite a long time. They wanted it in the sequel trilogy, never got it. But I think it's a great opportunity to sort of get him back in the suit. And we don't know if he's going to be Anakin himself in some sort of flashback as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes, really.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I mean, I love Star Wars from day one. Like it was one of the best shows. Like that was just out there, and but
Yeah.
then like so these are coming as TV shows, right?
Yeah, Disney Plus series.
Disney Plus series. Okay. But is there any like movies coming out with it, or is it just all TV shows then? Other
No,
than the
so
Rogue Squadron.
yeah, Rogue Squadron. I think those were the only movies they sort of talked about. The rest were Disney Plus series.
Okay.
So do they're gonna do a Mandalorian season 3, I
Yeah.
think, as well. An Ahsoka series, which I know you probably are quite looking forward to because
Yeah, like
you've watched Clone Wars and stuff.
I was just disappointed that obviously like Ahsoka isn't on anything else, was never put in a movie or anything like that.
Yeah,
But she's been on Rebels and she's been on Clone Wars, and I'd watched Clone Wars a lot when I was younger,
yeah,
and not really watched Rebels that much. But when I knew that she came back, I did watch scenes and stuff with her against Darth Maul when he came back as well, and
yeah,
it's a madness. Like I think she was underrated at the time, and now she's given her a big role in the thing. And I wanted to see an actual movie, personally, of her and being with everyone else because I wanted, like, I don't know if you've seen in Rebels. So when she came back, she sees Darth Vader.
yeah. I sort of know that there was an interaction there.
Yeah, and then like his mask breaks and she sees Anakin inside as
Oh
well, and it's just
shit!
like, I mean, she knew he. I think she knew it was Anakin, but like obviously everyone talks as, "Oh, I've lost Anakin, and you've come in and killed him." Like
Yeah,
they talk as Darth Vader and Anakin are two different people,
yeah,
which everyone kind of did in the film and
yeah.
in the shows. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I really want to see what she did during her time when she ran away and everything.
Yeah, I
Mm.
mean, I don't know when it's going to be set.
Mhm.
So that it'll probably be interesting to see what, once we get closer to it, when that's set and how it sort of fits into the sort of the timeline of the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they also announced a Lando series. So that's like an event series. So I think it's just going to be a one-off.
Hmm.
I assume they're going to get Donald Glover back to play Lando because he did in the Solo film.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
And he was great in it. And I was surprised that they announced this, but at the same time not, because I'm like, shit, that actually makes a lot of sense because a lot of people would love the character, and I think they wanted to see a lot more of him. So that's going to be really great to see what they do. There was a few other shows that were announced. There was something about the Acolytes or something, which is sort of takes place in the High Republic era,
Mhm.
and I think it focuses a lot more on the villains, which is going to be fascinating to see because I love Star Wars villains and how complex they are, and the Sith and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, Star Wars smashed it with their announcements. I think off the park, Disney smashed it with all their announcements. As you can see, like the amount of IP and properties they have, they're gonna just kill it for years to come. I'm sure Disney Plus will get 100 million subscribers in no time as it rolls out more internationally. But yeah, I'm just glad that they're releasing a lot more content for us, and I guess I'm gonna eventually have to subscribe to Disney Plus because I need to see is shit, man.
I think that's like one of the main points of Disney is like they're not dumb. They do plan ahead, like
Yeah,
Marvel with everything else. Like they had
that's one
these
of the
all
strong points.
yeah, they had all these planned and they have a story for a bigger picture that's gonna happen. Like that's
Yeah,
what they do. They plant the seeds. And I feel like when they did release Disney Plus, obviously they took everything from Netflix and all the rights to from other streamers to
yeah,
put on Disney Plus. What I feel like is when it first launched, it brought a lot of the nostalgia back for people, so
yeah,
anyone could just go onto Disney Plus and watch it when they grew up, like all the movies they when they grew up. But the stuff that they're planning now is for the new viewers, is for the new people, those who are
right,
like diehard fans of Star Wars, but then also the new fans and people
yeah,
who are into Moana, because Moana wasn't that long ago. Okay, probably
yeah,
like 4 years ago, something like that.
yeah.
Like Disney films go further than that. Like my parents would have been watching Disney films like back in the days.
Yeah,
Like
literally. When you think about it, like the Disney, like my favorite Disney films, Peter Pan,
yeah,
that came out in the 1950s. Like that's a sick film, man. I
like
love it.
it's good. It's like timeless. Like some of these films are timeless, man. Mickey Mouse will
Yeah,
never not be Mickey Mouse.
Disney
Like
as a brand is timeless,
yeah,
and it's the power of their brand that they're able to do this and sort of capture the audience's imagination like they usually get to do.
because after this, like say 2021, end of 2021, I would be surprised if Disney hasn't tripled their viewership from this. Because I feel like with COVID, people staying in, plus any
Yeah,
other issues that do come along, and because it's winter, people are just going to be snuggled up watching Disney films. Probably it's going to be instead of Netflix and
literally.
chill, is they're going to start making something else for Disney, and it's just gonna.
So
I feel like
yeah,
it's going to take over.
they're gonna dominate for
Yeah,
years, and I think they're the envy of every major entertainment conglomerate studio, whatever you want to say,
yeah.
like Warner Brothers, Universal. They're just looking at them like, how the fuck can we compete with this? Because
So
what they've set up is just phenomenal.
So we can agree 2021 is going to be the year of Disney. They're going to dominate
Exactly.
streaming.
And 2021 is going to be the year of something else, Carlo. A
Okay.
lot of big fights coming up
Oh
that
yeah.
you might want to mention
So additional
as
to
our
the
boxing guru.
Disney announcements, boxing has made a couple of announcements. The one of the greatest boxers to ever be in the ring, Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. will be
Oh yeah,
fighting.
TMT, the money team.
Oh yeah, the money team will be fighting how can I say? I don't know how to describe him, but we'll just say the YouTuber. Basically, that's how he goes.
Yeah.
The
Or the
YouTuber Logan
Maverick.
Paul, the Maverick. Maverick. I forgot about Maverick.
Logan
Yeah,
Paul. This guy
Logan.
is back doing boxing.
This
And
guy had two professional fights. No, one professional fight.
one amateur, one professional.
Yeah, one amateur, one professional fight. One the amateur was a draw and the professional was a loss. And somehow he is fighting one of the greatest guys, like boxers in the world. Like I've seen Mayweather box. It's an art form. Like what he does is an
Yeah.
art form. And when I've seen Logan Paul box, he's a one-handed monkey because he doesn't throw a right hand at
I
all.
think I think it's I think what KSI Logan Paul did was crazy in the sense that they literally headlined a pay-per-view boxing event
Hmm.
and they're YouTubers,
Yeah,
really. And they just got into boxing. I guess boxing's one of those things where it's like, if you want to box, if people want to watch, there's a massive pay-per-view event, right?
yeah.
And but the fact that he's managed to secure this deal with Mayweather, um, it's quite. I'm quite surprised that he wants to continue with his boxing route. But at the same time, from a financial perspective, he has smashed it because that fight is gonna make money and money and money. So you can't knock him for that. Um, so yeah, I'm really surprised that this is happening, but at the same time, I guess well played.
But I'll give it to Logan. Yes, this is an amazing fight. He has so much to gain and literally nothing to lose. Because
Yeah,
even just stepping into the ring, he stepped into the ring with one of the greatest guys. And if he
yeah.
loses, he's not an actual like full-time boxer.
Have you heard the thing where Logan Paul's like a heavyweight boxer, really, and Floyd Mayweather's like a middleweight or sort of
Yeah,
that sort of middle? So that's going to be interesting because I
that
mean,
what
that's just a size
it's
difference,
like a
right?
50-pound size difference. Now,
Which is a
when it
lot.
comes down to this, is yes, a punch, anyone like a single punch can make a difference. But the difference between Mayweather and everyone else is Mayweather doesn't really get touched. No one touches Mayweather.
Yeah,
He punches and yeah, he runs, he ducks. He's one of the best defensive counter boxers like there is, like counter punches in the game. Like he will weave and duck. Like he fought against Pacquiao. Yes, Pacquiao wasn't in his prime then, but
yeah,
Pacquiao throws probably the most punches any boxer punch like does in a combination or in a fight. And Mayweather managed to come clean through that. Yes,
yeah.
he fought other people and stuff like this, but you could probably say he only got hurt probably once or twice in his whole career, and he's like 50. Like,
Uh,
and what's like the only thing that's good about Logan is he's got the determination. He is a hard worker, and he wins no matter what. He's not making. I don't. If I know what's going on, he's not going to be making a lot of money off this fight.
but as in when he, I think he will. As in, it's going to be relatively a lot of money, but compared to what Mayweather will make from it,
No,
not so much.
I mean, Mayweather will make a lot in the sense that because obviously he has his own production team, he has everything. Like he's in control of this.
Yeah,
But Logan will obviously, yes, he'll get some sort of money and all this, but he just wins from being there as a YouTuber to step in that ring. Because I
yeah,
know probably many men have wanted to fight wanted to fight Mayweather, and
yeah.
just haven't. Like they were saying, there was a joke saying that Mayweather versus Logan Paul is the craziest fight that's going to happen since Mayweather versus The Big Show in WWE.
Oh shit!
Like
Yeah, yeah. That was mad.
that's been crazy. And if Logan wins, or just stepping in it, it's just a win for YouTube. Like, and a lot
But
of
then,
YouTubers are
but
backed
don't
him.
you think that's a massive KO for boxing if Mayweather loses? Because Mayweather's actually got a lot to lose in the sense that if he loses his unbeaten record,
Yeah,
um, and he just loses a lot of respect and integrity.
I think so. This has kind of come down from obviously the previous fight between Jake Paul and Nate Robinson. Obviously,
Yeah.
he lost, and it was a massive impact to everyone and athletes and other professionals. But then also, it's something 50 Cent said is like he was friends with Floyd, and he goes, that man spends money like it's nothing, and
Yeah.
he'll be fighting until he's in his grave because he just he runs out of money because he spends so much that he needs to
I
keep boxing.
I heard True Geordie speaking about this, and True Geordie went in on him in the
Yeah,
sense that from all the money he's made, from all the fights in his career, you're talking about big, massive pay-per-views of McGregor, Pacquiao, um, Canelo,
yeah,
loads of fights that he's had over the years. He should be set for life
yeah.
financially. And the fact that he's needs to do this because I don't know what his finances are, but obviously what 50 Cent says and what people say about him, he spends a lot of money. The fact that he needs this fight financially is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And look, I think he is still the favorite to win, and he will get most of the money regardless. But I just think it's a stupid move on his part. Like, is he going to continue to do this for like the next 10 years? Like these one-off fights, he's going to fight Jake Paul next.
I mean,
Like, what's he going to do?
hopefully this is his last. But speaking of Jake Paul, as you brought him up, he's gonna be no, he's fighting. He's been calling out a very famous Irishman, uh, the notorious Conor McGregor, and not in a
Oh
nice way.
man,
Not in a nice way at
bro,
all.
this is more messed than the Logan Paul. Mayweather thing because I swear Conor McGregor would have beat the shit out of Jake Paul.
Now, see, this is interesting because after he's called out Conor McGregor, I've been watching a couple of people. I've been listening to a couple of people. So he called out Conor in, I don't know. Okay, it was nice. He said good morning, but then it just went downhill from there. He's smoking a cigarette. He has the flags. He's saying his wife is a four. He's saying his wife
What?
is a four. And then he unfollowed everyone and only followed McGregor's wife on Instagram.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
And he went and then met McGregor's friend Dylan Dennis. He
Yeah, yeah.
not jumped him, but they were in a van, and they threw stuff at him, and then they ran.
Shit.
And so he's I don't know. I feel like Jake Paul's got very confident since beating Nate Robinson. Yes, everyone was against him for that because obviously an athlete versus YouTuber, no one expected. But Jake Paul has been training, whereas everyone else he's fought really are either new or just don't spend was boxing wasn't their life. He's
Do you
never
think
fought.
like Jake Paul's taking this boxing thing seriously in the sense that yes, he's a YouTuber, but he wants to do something in boxing?
No, see, I feel like yes, he is taking it seriously. But what people forget is when KSI called him out and called out the Pauls, said Jake Paul, Logan Paul, any of the Pauls, he said no. Jake Paul said no.
Yeah.
But now that he's boxing and he's getting a couple fights and he's doing stuff, he's like, come and fight me then. What are you doing? Like, why? Like, you get me? Like, KSI, everyone else has been out of the fight for a year. He's been
Yeah.
boxing now. He's had more fights than any other YouTuber on a period of 6 months each, I'm guessing. Um, he's having regular fights, so he's constantly training. Now that he feels like he's in a position he can win, he's now calling out everyone because he thinks he's a big guy.
Do you think this McGregor fight, if it ever happens, is it going to be in the octagon or is it going to be a boxing match?
Oh, it's gonna be in a boxing ring. He's not gonna. You're telling me he's been training boxing. He's not gonna jump into an octagon
But then,
with.
what do you think Mayweather would want to box? Because that's not his thing, really.
I feel like Mayweather's already making money
No,
getting
no,
Logan
no,
Paul.
not Mayweather. Sorry, McGregor.
See, 50 million, 50 million. He said he's given a contract for. Dana White has come out and said that it's not going to happen. I
Right.
don't think it brings any benefit to the UFC because yes, Conor McGregor is the UFC name and all this, but since they're not fighting in an octagon, and I never think any of those poor brothers will fight in an octagon.
'Cause that's a whole different
That's a whole different story
thing.
because they stay in their comfort zone and they continue. I mean, obviously, boxing was new to them and all this, but once they get comfortable with it and they think they're amazing at it, that's all they can do.
Yeah.
And to go on from Conor McGregor was turns out Jake Paul also sent out the same thing to Michael Bisping, right? Another UFC fighter who has now got his lawyers involved and said the lawyers have said he can say whatever he wants, and he's come out and said, "Come on, come fight me then." 42 years of age, former champion, UFC champion. You know, he beat
Yeah.
the one like some of the greatest fighters in the fucking game. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got one eye, one eye's plastic, and he said, "Come fight me, come fight me."
Bro.
Yeah, and not only that, Yoel Romero just been released from the UFC, nicknamed the Soldier of God. Yeah, he is a beast. Do you know what he's come out and said? Jake Paul, I challenge you, and Jake Paul has refused.
Pussy.
Yeah, Yoel Romero is not a boxer. He's not a boxer.
No.
He's a hell of a fighter though, and he's a beast in the octagon. He's not a boxer, but even he said, "Come and fight me." Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Jake Paul, let's be honest, he wants the notoriety. He wants McGregor. He wants the fame.
He wants
The money. Then he wants KSI.
When first of all, do you think KSI would box Jake Paul?
I feel like he has to, but then I feel like KSI needs to have a fight beforehand. He needs another fight.
Do you think KSI needs it because he's so moved on from the whole boxing thing with his music, especially this year, that is it really a thing for him now?
See,
Because he's done the Logan Paul thing that was massive for him.
he said
What's
he's
Jake
not
Paul?
fighting. He said he's not. He said he's still training. He's still training. He's still doing all the work and all this. But I feel like with Logan, it was different. But with Jake, it's like hatred. Like I gotta put this guy down. And I feel
Yeah,
like someone needs to knock the crap out of Jake just because he's getting big headed. Like he's saying how such a great fighter he is, but the people he's fought is Deji, so KSI's brother, who
yeah,
just got into boxing the same time as him and didn't take it seriously, and still it was a close fight. He fought Anderson Gibb, who really, let's be honest, that guy was a joke. Well, I
yeah.
mean, like he tried, but it was just wasn't a fight. And then he fought another guy who, after Jake Paul's already had the two fights and his training, decided to fight a basketball player, and okay, yeah, he knocked him out, and it was a good fight. But the guy couldn't box. The actual guy he fought wasn't boxing. He was running, he was lunging, he was doing loads of other things. It just was he cracked under pressure and he couldn't box properly. Jake Paul hasn't fought anyone who actually boxes, and he's also picking McGregor because he thinks, okay, McGregor gasses out. He's known for gassing out in a fight, and Mayweather has beaten McGregor and all this. But I would still
But
rather,
McGregor losing to Mayweather is different from Jake Paul
yeah,
and McGregor fighting because McGregor is still a fighter in
yeah.
that sense.
McGregor has done boxing. He prepared for Mayweather. Now he knows the difference. And I feel like if he was to tackle Jake Paul, it would be something different. But McGregor's been in that situation of a fight. He's taken hits. The only times he's actually lost is through submission, and you can't really do that in boxing.
Yeah,
So I don't really see a way of anyone really stopping him. And I feel like me personally, I'd rather take Mayweather over McGregor, just because Mayweather's lighter and he's more points. He's not really a knockout artist, whereas Conor goes to take your head off.
yeah.
The last fight he had, he took the guy out with his shoulder. He threw his
What the
shoulder
fuck?
into the guy's face and just knocked the guy out.
Let
Like,
me ask you a question, bro.
yeah,
Obviously, we've had the KSI Logan Paul saga sort of like last year, and now sort of Logan Paul's going back at it. Jake Paul's continuing with the boxing. Like, when is this thing of YouTubers, because they are still YouTubers, boxing? Is there an end in sight for it, or is this just gonna be a thing they do once a year as a money making machine?
I
Because
feel like
surely they can't continue to do this.
this is all they can do. Is like anyone wants to fight, they'd be like, "Oh, get the boxing ring out. Let's box." Look at there's some guy with a family channel. I forgot his name now. He wants to fight Logan Paul now. Not Logan Paul. He wants to fight Jake Paul now, and then they want to fight Bryce Hall, and then they want to fight like none of like they can all say they want to fight, but no one has the notoriety like KSI and Logan did.
Yeah,
Okay, Jake Paul has it as well.
massive followings as well.
Whoever else comes into it will be the B side if you're comparing it to those people, and
Yeah,
that is the truth. And I would say after Jake Paul fights KSI, it should be finished, unless anyone after that wants to fight proper boxers. But these new people coming into it, it's just
but
draining
again,
now.
what? And this raises another question. Like, from a boxing point of view, is it damaging the sport in the sense that these aren't really professional boxers, yet they're headlining boxing pay-per-views over actual athletes?
See,
Now
okay,
I know it's like a money thing, who's more popular,
yeah.
but
I mean,
surely as a respect aspect for the sport, it's it's sort of like people want to fund this, but then should they be funding it? Like, should they be promoting these fights?
okay. There's ups and downs to it, obviously, and I don't see it as a bad thing. I do see it as it's bringing in more audiences, which is a great thing. Like bringing in younger people, bringing in older
Yeah,
people. There's a mix of both, but I feel like it's got to be entertaining and it's got to be equal. At some point, the fights have to be equal. Like Logan Paul versus KSI, the fight was so close.
yeah.
That's what made it interesting, entertaining. But with Jake Paul fighting Anderson Gibb, that wasn't close at all. It didn't interest anyone else. It was just the fact that because they hyped it up for a bit and they are who they are, it attracted the younger people. But
Yeah.
the older people probably would have hated it. Those who are actual boxing connoisseurs, should I say, or like
Yeah.
those who enjoy boxing, just don't wouldn't enjoy that. And I think we're sick of seeing rubbish fights, and especially like even if you're a YouTuber, come on, get someone near your level, get someone who is willing to take it seriously or to get through it and
Yeah.
can put up a fight, not someone who's just new who you're calling out each time because you just know that okay, because now this guy's had 10 fights and another one's just started because the other got pissed off or something. It's
Yeah.
not going to be an interesting fight. But I would say that I can't wait for someone to knock the shit out of Jake Paul and take his head clean off.
I'll pay £20 for that to see it.
He's getting too
I'll pay
arrogant.
per-view.
Too arrogant. But
We should do a fight night, man.
that would be interesting.
Bro, Fury Joshua, it's got to happen next year, right?
I can't wait for that. I really want
Bro,
that to happen.
that is gonna be mad fight night.
But we could do that, you know. I mean, we can see. But I think we'll wrap it up today.
Yeah,
Yeah?
it's been a good show. A lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah, Disney are ruling. Jake Paul's a dickhead, and who's gonna win from Mayweather Logan Paul? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Just to let her know that hopefully in 2021 we will be a bit more consistent with these podcasts. We do understand
Yes.
it's taken ages. We do appreciate anyone who does listen to this.
Yeah.
Even though we don't care.
Thank you for your support, guys.
yeah.
Even if you don't care.
No. I mean, yeah. Thank you for your support, wherever it will. And hopefully we can continue this and bring you more stuff.
You've been listening to the Waffle, guys.
Yeah, catch us on YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, Anchor, and we'll see you then. Okay, thank you.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Oh, okay.